Buenos días, muchas gracias por venir al Sombra. Es un honor para el Sombra y para todos nosotros tener aquí el fantástico director francés, mítico, Xavier Gens. Por favor, un fuerte aplauso a Xavier Gens.
Yeah. We know each other very well. It started with Alexandre when he did High Tension. I think it was in 2004, so exactly 20 years ago. And then it was like a door open to do more genre movies in France. So my generation, so above 45 years old, so Pascal Logier, Alexandre Dustillon, Julien Maury, Fabrice Duvels, Abel Ferry, all these other directors start to do horror movies. They wrote horror movies because they really wanted to do it. And we had the chance as Canal+, one of the main financing channels in France, agreed to finance this kind of movies. Pascal Logier, Martyrs, Alexandre Dustillon, Julien Maury, Inside, what else? Calvaire by Fabrice Duvels. All these movies were for us like real author horror movies. And the funny thing is after this wave of movies, most of us went to US because in Europe the market for horror movies was not that easy. So we went to the US, we came back. Because it was not so easy to do the film we want. So then we keep on, and we were lucky enough to be able to keep on doing our movies in Europe.
Tuvieron la posibilidad, la suerte de poder seguir haciendo sus películas.
And the new generation came in after that, Julia Ducournau with Titan, Revenge by Coralie Farja, and now Sébastien Vanissek with Vermins. So it's still coming up now with more French identity because now we don't want to go to US anymore.
Es que ahora está saliendo la nueva generación de los directores.
Julia Ducournau,
Titan.
Titan who won the Palme d'Or for Titan, which was very huge for a genre movie in France. Revenge by Coralie Farja. And recently Vermin Infected by Sébastien Vanissek.
Lo que comentaba, que Julia Ducournau ganó hace 2 años, me parece, en Cannes. O sea, que una película de género gana en Cannes es un síntoma...
Huge. Yes. Very huge. No, it's not only from me, but I think it's coming from the frustration of 30 years of new wave of French cinema. Where it was like very realistic stories about people talking in kitchens. At some point we wanted to just do something crazy because we were fed up by this. And there is possibilities as well in our French identity to be nervous, to be on strikes, to shout out, and we wanted to create big mess and chaos. And I think it's a cinema coming from chaos. And it reflects the French sensibility of chaos and stability and anger, you know. So that's it's a cinema coming from frustration and anger, I think. And also the I would say the fracture, you know, the dividing society we can feel sometimes by and probably from 2002 presidential election where extreme right were coming back as a second term, and we were all traumatized by this, and we keep on trying to fight this ideology with heart, in a way. So, and to manifest that kind of anger against extremities, we do an extreme cinema. Yeah, definitely, we still want this, and there is still 3 to 4 films a year trying to do this kind of genre movies. And I was lucky enough last year to do Mayhem Farang, which is kind of extreme in his way, because I was asking what's the level of violence I can put in the film. And as I become a dad since, so I wanted to put my fear of losing my daughter in it. So that's the pressure we can put, and there is no limit. French cinema, Canal+, French TV, all the financiers in France really let us free to do whatever we want. I think my next film is kind of, my next movie is going to be very kind of extreme. It's more like an ecological ideology behind. It's shark movie, talking about I would say, the fall down of humanity because of the overexploitation of ocean and seas. So it's really engaged to the protection of sharks and ocean. So it's a shark exploitation film with a lot of violence in it, very extreme. So you're going to see some people cut in half. But it's with a message on top. But I think that's sorry for that, but I think it's a false debate. Because if you know the filmography of people like Ridley Scott or James Cameron, they are giving female lead roles since 40 years. So it's always been there. It's just now we are putting a spot on it. So when I did Frontière, I was more influenced by what James Cameron was doing when he was doing Aliens or even Abyss. The main characters are female. And that's always been like this from his point of view, and I try to follow that kind of steps because I think it's important. And it's not a debate when you are convict. You know it's a conviction. It's natural. We do it naturally. Today we talk about it, so it's important to talk about it to have more possibilities to show female lead, which I think is important because there is great story to tell. But it's always been there. Just a few people were doing it, and now we have more opportunity to do it. But it's always been there. If you look at the first Alien, 78, I think, and she was already a female lead in it, and Aliens even more.
Yes.
She was kicking more ass than all the guys. And you can even see in the 60s there was a movie called Wait Until Dark with Audrey Hepburn, where she played a blind girl with an anarchy in it. And she was by herself, blind in the dark, with guys trying to trap her, and she was the lead, and she was kicking ass as well. So look at Princess Leia, she was there since the first Star Wars. So it's a false debate, to be honest. And I think today we are talking about it because suddenly we wake up and we realize, oh, we have to be careful and we have to make it more of something. But genre movie has always given a first place to women in movies. You know, it's more like mainstream films or I would say author movie who were waiting this revolution, the Me Too revolution, to look at it. Because it was more, I would say, the commercial mainstream things, where the commercial market was not able to take care of this before. But in genre movies, from the very beginning, even for Les Yeux Sans Visage, she's the lead. The film is 70 years old. So genre movies has always been in advance on every revolution. However, one of the master of all, Alfred Hitchcock.
Y Alfred Hitchcock, un maestro del horror, que
Well, the film he did, the lead was a woman.
Sí, que casi, bueno, hay muchas películas de él que donde hay un papel femenino importante o la principal.
Just as the birds.
Sí, los pájaros. Efectivamente, solo ahí.
Psycho. It starts from the point of view of Janet Leigh.
Y Psicosis, donde empieza desde el punto de vista de Janet Leigh.
So for me, it's a false debate.
Para él, entonces, si viendo todo eso, es un debate falso.
That's a good question, because there is someone I admire from Spain called Jaume Balaguer, which when he's doing our movie, I don't want to laugh at all. Because everything is so fucking scary. I'm like, I'm terrorized when I'm watching these movies. And I'm not laughing 1 second in the film.
Okay.
I think it's coming from America. The American movies, they need that little punch.
Like
they need to disarm the fear because they want to keep the film fun, to keep the experience fun. So that's, I think, a problem coming from US. But when you look at Dario Argento, Balaguer, Paco Plaza, all the great horror filmmakers, John Carpenter, there is no humor at all.
Yeah.
Never. It's because they really take their subject very seriously. The kind of humor is really coming from a commercial American film.
Yeah, like it's an easy resource.
It's like not taking horror seriously. That's the problem. And it's coming from the gore, and the gore is coming from Grand Guignol. And the Grand Guignol is a French film, it's a French thing for fun. It was like a burlesque, it was comedy, and when there is big geyser of blood in a film, of course it makes us laugh because it's too much. And as soon as it's too much, we want to laugh. And for example, in Frontière, I wanted to go in the Grand Guignol by the end of the film because the film is kind of homage to all the B movies I love from the US, and I wanted to assume that at the end and make it like, okay, that's very fun. It's gory, there's blood everywhere, because it's the Grand Guignol, and it's typically French. I assume that totally, and I remember some screenings, for example, in Toronto or Sitges, and it's true that's the moment of relief for everyone. And in theater, people are enjoying this moment of bloodbath because it's just fun. So there is, and Tarantino is the master of this. Tarantino, when he's doing over violent sequence, it's funny because there is a kind of second degree in it. But when you watch Rome Balaguerro movie or Divergent film, you don't want to laugh at all, and when there is an horror scene, you're really terrorized. And that's the most complicated things to do. A real horror scene, the shower scene in Psycho, for example, you don't want to laugh at all at the end. It's just pure fear. But doing pure fear, it's super difficult. So it's easy for a filmmaker to make you laugh when there is a big bloodbath. And when I did my big bloodbath scene with the table saw in Frontière, for me, in a way, I knew the effect on the audience, so it's an easy thing, and it's more easy to take that choice because I know I'm going to get the laugh and I'm going to get everyone clapping and cheering in the theater.
The difficult part is to make people stay.
And that silence, it's super hard. That's super, super hard. And so for that, when you're gonna see the film, and I don't want to spoil anything, but we wanted to do what we call a blockbuster with an ecological consciousness. So the film is not really what you expect from a shark movie. Sharks are not really the bad guys in it. So that's all I can say.
Okay. I look forward to it. Thank you.
It's not the humans this time who are the problem.
Sí, son los humanos que son los problemas.
First, I liked the novel a lot, and I met with Albert Sanchez-Pignol maybe 2 years because I read it randomly. I took it from a bibliothèque and discovered that novel, and I was blown away by the novel. Then I asked for the rights, and I knew the rights were handled by a Spanish company called Kanzaman. And we talked about it with the producer, and I was just finishing a movie called The Divide, and the thematic who really interested me in Cold Skin was that relationship between human beings and that creatures, and how that creatures finally will await humanity in that human being who lose their own humanity. So there was a full sexual aspect in the book, which was difficult for us to keep on the line, because in the same time as we were shooting the film, a great master of horror was doing The Shape of Water. So I was like, oh shit, I cannot compete with Guillermo del Toro. So, and I knew The Shape of Water was going to be a lot of sexual scene with the creature. So we take the decision to avoid that aspect from the book, to keep it more about the love triangle between the three characters, and not show too much sex between the fish girl and the lighthouse keeper. And as well, trying to keep the, I would say, and also show more humanity in the creature. And in the Albert Sanchez-Pignol, the creature are just beasts. They don't have any feelings. And what we did there, we humanized the creature. That was one of the main choices humanizing this creature as a new species, an endemic species who are living there, but they look like animals, and in the book they are animals. But here we wanted to say, no, this is another kind of human evolution. So to make it more a relationship between xenophobia and that kind of thematic, because the character of Brunner is kind of xenophobic in a way, and we wanted to keep that feeling in the character and make it more human than just a beast. You know, that was super important for us.